Sonic is more formidable than I anticipated.
Yes, he would make a powerful slave. Eggman taught us how to make robots.
So we'll make the Hedgehog a robot. Excellent plan, Master.
I'm sure you would have thought of it yourself, given time.
Time. Something Sonic is running out of.
Well, it's nice that Zavok has a copy of Sonic Lost World and is rewatching all the cutscenes. Seriously, how did Dr. Eggman set up cameras like that? Either way, folks, welcome to Part 13. Welcome back to Sonic Lost World. We're going through a new zone, Silent Forest. And pay attention to the gameplay here, because I'm going to go off this wall, and instead of landing on the platform, I was about to fall in the mud. Instead, I found an invisible spring, which actually saved my life there. So, invisible springs are a thing in the Wii U version of Sonic Lost World. They're not in the 3DS version, but every now and then, especially in 2D segments, you'll just be walking someplace, there's nothing to indicate that anything's there, there's no sparkly little after effect, there's no transparent glow. Like, you just walk somewhere, and then boing! All of a sudden you're bouncing somewhere, and you really didn't expect to. This game is filled with hidden, invisible springs, and I'm not entirely sure why, other than, like, maybe a sense of discovery, maybe? I don't know. Oh god, the mushroom! No, 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 no! Oh. God damn you, Mad Mole! This is a badnik from Sonic and Knuckles from Mushroom Hill Zone. What a prick! Although it's fun to see him back in a 3D Sonic game, as opposed to the old original Genesis classic, so that's kind of fun. Again, I don't think this is like rehashing of anything. It's been a while since we've seen this badnik. It's been a while since we've seen Penguinators and Slicers and stuff. And I know Sonic 4 is relatively new when Lost World came out, but I remember some people were like, oh man, why are they going back to nostalgia with Lost World? Why are they using Motobugs and Caterkillers and stuff? And I'm just like, you know guys, we had a whole Dark Age of Sonic where like we fought Iblis monsters, Dark Gaia monsters, silvery white robots in Sonic 06, Black Arms aliens, cops, gun military robots. You know, for like 8-9 years, we had so many different things. And then all of a sudden, with Colors, we had Motobugs again, but it was mostly in a new location. Sonic 4 was a throwback because, well, it was Sonic 4. And Generations was a throwback because it was a celebration of Sonic. If Lost World has badniks from the old Genesis games again, does it really matter? They operate differently from how they did in the original games anyway. I wasn't really bothered by the nostalgia badniks, the old enemies, because to me it was like, we haven't really seen these guys enough, you know? But, don't worry, I do get tired of Green Hill and Chemical Plant later as these games go on. Oh, I got tired of that zone very quickly later, but was not turned off by the badniks in Sonic Lost World.
Something's not right.
Huh. Must have missed this one.
Sonic! It's a trap!
Tails, no! Those rotten, sneaky...
Tails acted for the greater good.
The greater good. Shut it!
Let's make sure his sacrifice isn't for nothing.
I'm supposed to be the fastest, but I was too slow to save my buddy.
Okay, I know that's supposed to be a sad scene. I know that Tails just got kidnapped, but that line is so cheesy and it makes me laugh every time I hear it. I'm supposed to be the fastest, but I couldn't save my buddy. It's such a dumb line from Sonic the Hedgehog. It's great. Also, there's a fun little detail. If you do any circus tents beyond this point to get more flickies so you can reach the later levels, normally it would be Sonic and Tails going into the trampoline, the cannonball, the teeter-totter. I haven't shown the teeter-totter off, but it would normally be Sonic and Tails. And now from this point onwards, it's going to be either Sonic and Cubot or Sonic and Orbot. Sometimes both of them if you hit a balloon with the number 3 on it. But So I like that little attention to detail when you're doing the circus tents, because Tails is gone. He's been abducted by the Deadly Six. Oh noes! Anyway, folks, we're back in the 3DS version of Sonic Lost World, and this level has a lot of puzzle switches, very much, again, like a Mario game, where, like, either red's active or blue's active, and can't be both, it's one or the other. And the only way to press these switches down is with the Quake Wisp. Now, the Quake Wisp is entirely gyro-controlled, except for, like, the ground-pounding part. That's the jump button. But if you want to move left, you tilt the 3DS left. If you want to move right, you tilt the 3DS right. And so what you'll see is, every time I want to flip a switch, I immediately turn off the Wisp power because I don't want to use this crappy gyro controls. Like, this is the other thing that sucks about the 3DS version of Lost World, by the way. I haven't even mentioned this yet. In the Wii U version of Lost World, all you have to do is push R in order to activate the Wisp. It's just like one of the shoulder buttons, and that's really easy to do. If I want to use laser, R. If I want to use eagle, R. You know, boom, done. But in Lost World for 3DS, you have to touch the bottom touchpad. You have to touch the Wisp icon on the touchpad just to activate the Wisp. And when you have 2D segments with crystals and laser Wisp parts, man, it's hard to actually, like, get your thumb all the way over to the touchpad and touch it in time because Sonic's moving so fast on screen, and ugh. But the good news about the Quake Wisp is, as soon as you activate it, you can touch the Wisp immediately to turn it off whenever you want. You'll still lose the Wisp, like, you won't keep it, but if I don't want to move around with the gyro controls all that much, if I just want to, like, I hit the switch, I'm done, I don't want to have this crappy friggin' control scheme, then as soon as I activate it with the touchpad, I touch it again, and I just turn it right off, because this place is filled with slow moss, and it's so easy to fall off and go to a lower section and have to backtrack through this level over and over again. And you need to kill all of the giant turtles, which are the healthiest, most armor-filled badniks in this game, by the way. If you even a 3-charged homing attack is not going to kill a turtle in one hit. You have to do 3 charged homing attacks just to kill one turtle, which is excessive and gross. And again, your first playthrough, I just did the snowball pushing level with all of the switches, and then they throw another one of these levels at me where, like, there's multiple paths to go, and there's a whole bunch of different switches to flip, and which switch I should be flipping won't be known in the first playthrough. And you can understand why, when I was playing this level, I got really agitated, especially when I didn't know that I could turn off the Wisp power by tapping it on the touchpad again. So, I don't like that level. Didn't like it at all. Silent Forest 2, this is an example of why the 3DS version could have been really fun, really interesting, because there's a great rail grinding part here. There's a lot of fun speeding through and just dodging things aspect to this level, but then they always make you stop so you can fight all the Motobugs and Slicers and Turtles who have way too much armor, because these little capsules that'll take you to your destination will not open up until you kill every single thing that's in the area, and then you got these slow blocks that turn off and you gotta wait for them to turn on and stuff, and it's like, and the level's too long, and it's like, I see this level and I see the potential. I see a level that could be really fun, because this rail grinding stuff, this is fun. What you do is you hold the direction you want to go and then you push the jump button. So if I want to move right, I hold right and then I push jump. And it's perfect, you know, it just automatically clings you to the rail. It's not like Lost World on the Wii U, where you manually jump and you have to wait until Sonic actually gets to the rail. You just immediately cling, sort of like it was Shadow the Hedgehog, or not just like Shadow the Hedgehog or Sonic Unleashed, I suppose. But it feels more Shadow the Hedgehog than it does Unleashed, because you can't use the shoulder buttons to do it. And these turtles are so annoying. When you don't have invincibility, it takes 3 charged homing attacks. 3 of them. And every time you do one, they always do a ground pound effect, and you have to wait until you can build up that second charge, and it just takes too many homing attacks to kill these turtles. I mean, what the hell were they thinking? Ugh. And Honeycomb Highways music is not appropriate for this stage, with all the slow walking I have to do. But I digress. Like this part, I like the rail stuff here. When I'm trying to dodge the ball spikes and stuff, I just look for where all the ball spikes are going to be. I look for the pathways I should be on. Oh, there's a path with rings. Let's go and move left and hop, hop, hop. And it's really fun. And you know, there are moments when this game moves fast and it feels exciting. It feels like Windy Hill's tutorial level, Windy Hill 1, Windy Hill 2. You know, the first few levels that actually felt like a Sonic the Hedgehog game. And when you're playing a level like this, you're reminded that, like, oh, but I'm probably going to have to do some more Switch puzzles, and there's probably going to be another bad 2D level coming up, and it's like, man, Lost World on 3DS could have been really fun. Why wasn't there more of this kind of activity in the Lost World for 3DS? I mean, you can make the critique that the Wii U version is also gimmicky. You know, you turn yourself into a snowball. There was an auto-scroller in Desert Ruins. There is a pinball stuff with the casino level, and we haven't even gotten to the Flappy Bird level yet. That is a thing in the Wii U version. There is a Flappy Bird-esque level where Sonic is sort of flying, and you'll see what's up with that later. But the Wii U version's definitely experimental too, but at least more often than not, it goes back to the core gameplay with every single first act, or third or fourth act, so at least you feel like for the majority of the game you're playing a Sonic title, you know? Yep, pushing snowballs around and constantly turning into wisps that you don't want to use. Wii U doesn't make you use wisp all the time. There's like alternate pathways so you don't have to. There was an eagle wisp in Silent Forest 1 that I didn't collect, and I could have collected it, but I chose not to because I was getting all the red rings, you know. And these levels are too long. Stop it! Stop it! Either way. I mentioned before the Wii U version has invisible springs, and they can be kind of annoying sometimes just because they always just sort of surprise you, and why can't they just be visible? If I know a spring's there, I would actually go for it and try to, you know, avoid the parkour or whatever, but it's always invisible, so I never know it's there. Sometimes I'd be watching other playthroughs, and then they'd run into a spring that I had no idea was even there. I bet that's probably happened with some of you when you were watching me play Desert Ruins or something, because I don't know why the springs are invisible. And it really sucked with one instance, because in Lava Mountain 3, there's a red ring that is way too close to an invisible spring, and that invisible spring knocks you into a speed booster, which knocks you into the entrance of the next segment, and you can't go back. And then I miss out on a red ring just because I ran into an invisible spring that I didn't know was there, and that's really annoying, and that really shouldn't be a thing. Like, why was it even invisible in the first place? Like, screw off, stop it. You know? So that's one thing about the Wii U version I definitely don't like, but... oh, this forced combat! If I didn't have the Lightning Wisp, if I didn't have an invincibility box, and there's all this slow green moss all over the place that, like, hinders your movement and stuff, the only reason I'm doing half as well as I am is because I practiced this level quite a bit, but when it's your first time playing, man, the forced combat with all the slow-moving moss that makes Sonic not run and just move very, very slowly. What were they thinking? This could have been a good level, Dimps. This could have been a really good level, but as it is, it's just frustrating because it goes on too long and there's too much friggin' combat in a Sonic game that shouldn't be about combat. Ugh, this isn't Sonic Heroes. I don't have a power-type character, you know? And the power-type characters would have killed any of the bigger enemies faster than I do these turtles. So I just... more combat! Let's do it! I gotta kill all the cluckers, because why not? At least I get my Sonic Heroes jams. Oh, cluckers went away. God damn it. It's just, again, once you've played Frozen Factory 3, everything just sort of adds up after a while, you know? Like, all this bad gameplay, all this slow-moving stuff, all these Switch puzzles, all the forced Wisp integration, it starts getting under your skin, and you know, I made the mistake of playing Lost World 3DS in one sitting. I wanted to try and beat it as fast as I could, but man, I was really mad after Frozen Factory 3, and I was just starting to hate the game afterwards. It's exhausting. It's mentally draining how you want this game to be good, but it just won't be good. Why won't you be good, 3DS version? Why? Also, yeah, I got 999 rings. I didn't get hit once. And I was kind of amazed I collected that many, but yeah. Anyway, folks, come back for part 14 as we meet the next Deadly Six member, Zor. He's the funniest one by far. Also, I love Silent Forest 1's music so much, and it sounds like it wouldn't be out of place in a Rouge the Bat level from Sonic Adventure 2. Seriously, that track is so great, and it fits Rouge perfectly.